What's up, guys? So I've just been sitting in the European server thinking about playing a game, and I was just thinking about making a video actually on how to get better at Starcraft 2. And I guess this is something I've been wanting to make for a while, just because even with the new league distribution changes, there's been a lot of people that have been upset that they haven't gotten promoted. And I know there's probably some stuff that Blizzard's still working on with that, so that's not really like a final set thing there with the matchmaking. But I wanted to talk about like actually getting better in StarCraft. Now, some of you are going to wonder like, who are you to talk about getting better in StarCraft? Well, my North American account, I've gotten Masters about 17 times, and I've got Top Masters slash GM MMR, and I've beaten a lot of good players. I mean, at least on North America, at least that I would call good, because I'm not Korean or anything, but for the free time that I do get to play in StarCraft and the well-known players I get to play, I think I could consider them pretty good. So I've beaten some good GM players and Top Masters players. Now I could name a list of them and stuff like that and boast and brag about the people I've played, but I really don't feel like reading off the list. If you really want to know, maybe I'll put it in the comments in like Reddit or something. I don't know, but most likely I'll just keep that to myself because I don't think it's really that important. What I do think is important though is that some people in StarCraft are disappointed in where they are with their leagues. And I guess I can understand that, and like some people have expectations of themselves and want to be at higher leagues. But the thing that I don't really understand, and as someone has coached people in StarCraft, is that I don't understand why people think that they're going to be in the next league the next day. Like, when I was trying to get to Top Masters and, like, GM MMR, at first, I was, like, thinking, man, I can just do this in overnight, and, like, all I gotta do is just do these certain things. But it doesn't really work out that way. I started in StarCraft 2, I actually placed in Bronze, and worked up my way to Gold pretty quickly at the early stages of StarCraft. And what I did is just look up builds of pros, and at the time, TLO was the Terran, so I actually had a lot of builds of his, copied them, and I just really just copy and pasted build. Just did that build. It was like a Thor rush. Did that build and got to gold in like a week. So I'm sure for certain leagues, just having the right build, you could probably boost your rank up pretty quickly. Now, you're going to hit a certain point where you hit a plateau where maybe you'll improve very quickly. Some people improve faster than others. So you're going to at some point hit a plateau. And for me, that plateau was trying to get into Diamond League. So when I was like top plat getting the Diamond, that was my plateau at the time. And I always was trying to find like a quick way to get better and stuff like that. I even like got lucky and got some free coaching sessions from Masters players back at the day. That was like in like 2011 or something. That was a long time ago, 2010. And I would think like after I got the coaching session, like, oh, I'm gonna be like super good, and like I'm gonna beat everybody on ladder, and here I come to diamond like so easily. Well, to my surprise, I go to ladder and I still suck. I'm like, why is this? Why can't I play like how this Masters player just taught me? Well, the thing is, let's look at it this way. So, maybe your knowledge of the game has improved. So let's say that your mechanics, let's say mechanics are is the way that how fast you hit the keys on your keyboard. Your mechanics stayed the same. They're kind of like muscles. Your fingers are muscles. Certain joints and like that are working together, whatever muscles they are, they're giving you those reflexes to type so fast. Those are muscles that you have to build. Just like when you go weight train and stuff like that, you have to build your muscles. And same thing with your brain. Your brain is a muscle that you have to train. And I guess my point around this is that just because you get some new knowledge of the game doesn't mean that you'll instantly be able to, apply it in your gaming. Because take it this way, if you're going to go to the gym and work out, You could look at somebody have the perfect form when they do squats, but does that really necessarily mean that you could go and do as much as they do? No, because you have to work your way up to what they can do. You have to do the reps, you have to go in every week, and you have to keep doing that. At least now you have the perfect form, so maybe you'll build the muscle quicker, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the muscle's going to come in overnight. So it's the same way as StarCraft. You have to keep working on those muscles with your brain and your fingers, and that even though you may have the knowledge of the game, you still have to play the games to get your fingers and your brain used to that atmosphere of playing that fast. Because Masters players and like Grandmasters players, they really do make games look a lot like they really make it look easy. When I play games sometimes and I crush like a top master Zerg, to me that was a hard game. But maybe to the people that were watching my stream or to others, it didn't look that hard in what I was doing. So I guess my overall point in this is that don't expect that you're going to be able to get good at StarCraft in one day, because it's not going to happen. You need to have two things, a short-term goal and a long-term goal. So let's say your long-term goal is to be Grandmaster. Well, let me tell you this, if you're going to try to be Grandmaster and you go to your matches on, if you go ladder and you have the expectations to be Grandmaster and you're only in Gold League, that's going to be very disappointing for you, because every game you're going to lose to a gold player or a plat player, and maybe at some point maybe even a silver player. And you're going to think like, fuck this game, like I don't want to play this, like, and you get depressed and you don't want to play and you start getting ladder anxiety and stuff like that. So the key is to have a short-term goal of where you want to be. So if you're in gold, if you're like mid-gold, maybe your short-term goal is just to get maybe top gold. After you hit that short-term goal, set up another short-term goal. Set up where you want to be in plat. Start small, have a bigger picture of the plan, like maybe Grandmaster, but start small with your short-term goals, because that's going to give you a more realistic idea of where to start and where to go from after that. So just remember that in StarCraft, it's a hard game. You're going to have to do a lot of the same things over and over. It's very repetitious, but once you hit that point where you have your mechanics down, you'll be able to think what you want and do what you want. So I'd probably say now anybody that's in Masters or has been in Masters or played at that top level kind of knows what I'm talking about right now, that you'll hit a certain point in StarCraft where practice may not be as important, but it is, because you're still working on those muscles. But you could start to theory craft a little bit more as you get higher level. But I guess this is more of not really showing you how to get better in StarCraft, but the mindset behind getting better in StarCraft and some of the mistakes that I see other players make. And I know this is a long video, but I think this gives some insight on why some players end up failing to getting better, and that they need to have more realistic goals and understand that it's not going to be something that happens in one game. So I hope this video helped, and I've made other videos, and I'll put this at the end of the video. You can click on it, and I think I go a little bit more in depth of how to improve your mechanics, and I made this I think maybe a year or two ago, so that could be something that you could watch. But yeah, if you guys want to watch that, then go for it. And thanks for watching. I really do hope this helped. See you guys.